or you can keep going up Broadway and then turn on Constitution Avenue, which takes you almost to right to where the school is. But yeah,
I
it's
feel
like
like your drive must have been shitty to get to school when you were in school, whether you were taking a bus or as you were able to drive to school.
so when I drove,
Hi, fans. We're live. I don't know what they're talking about, just to let you know.
We're talking about old school, high school days, our old
so
school
so
I
high
know
school
so
days.
nothing.
so when I
So, welcome,
drove,
fans, to that stuff.
yeah. We're talking here, okay? Um, so when I drove, it would kind of, see, the thing was, of course, we didn't have the nice convenient little, mini hand computers with the GPS to check traffic every morning. So it would depend upon how I felt, because it's like I could go on Route 191 through Plainfield Township and then drive on Penargil Road, and like there would be less traffic that way, but I think that was also probably more miles, you
Hmm.
know, like going up Sullivan Trail Road or Route 33 and then going up through Wind Gap and everything, you'd encounter more traffic, you'd encounter stoplights. So it would depend, it would vary.
And for those of you that are not in the
And I still
Pennsylvania
have no
area,
idea what the fuck you guys are talking about or where you're going.
Penargil High
We're
School
talking
is
about
in
Penargil and trying to drive to Penargil.
Penargil
Why?
High School is in the middle of god dang nowhere.
Penargil is
It
Like
yeah,
is.
literally.
Penargil is one of those. I guess the way to say it is inconveniently placed towns, in that it's not extremely close to like a major highway, and by major highway I mean for like the area where we live, it's not incredibly close to Route 33, 22, or 78. It's nowhere near 22 or 78, but it's not real close to 33 either. Um,
It's off of 512, kinda.
yeah, yes and no. Like 512 does go through Penargil. But again, that's like 512 in the sense that, like, it's like the road just keeps going,
It's
essentially.
not
And
really a highway. 512 is not really a highway.
yeah, it's not. It's a route, you
It's the
know.
route that goes through a whole bunch of towns.
It does. It very much does.
It's a root of cause that goes to nowhere land. Okay.
Pretty
Oh, they're
much.
showing the turnbuckle. Somebody's going to hit their head on the turnbuckle. They purposely
It,
showed
it,
a
it-
close up
it's
of it.
it's like that bridge to nowhere up in Alaska or wherever the fuck that was. And
I
Penargil,
see.
Either
and,
night.
Pen-
I
and
see.
Penargil, and Penargil itself is not an easy town to navigate. Then the most of what's the town of Penargil proper, because it's an old town. It's was built originally in the late 1700s. You know,
It was one
so
of them
so
mining towns.
so many of the roads are very narrow, and a lot of them are one way. It's just not an easy town to navigate. Wait a minute, the match just ended.
Yep.
Yeah, with a
Oh,
schoolgirl roll.
oh, that was a weird ending. I thought for sure. See, here's the thing. I thought Becky was going to win this. Um, Maybe she took some of the Becky Hogan criticisms to heart. But here's the thing.
Becky Hogan criticisms?
Yeah, people are calling her Becky Hogan because she comes back and she wins. It's a little bit like the shit people are saying about Charlotte.
Gotcha.
Anyway, um,
Sorry, fans. We're all over the place. Started
yeah, we
this,
are.
and we're live today instead of recording because tomorrow's Mother's Day. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
because tomorrow's Mother's Day.
backlash. We
That's why we're
started to go
doing this live.
live. We're kind
Sorry,
of a little all over the
I
place.
meant to post on Facebook saying we were going to go live tonight, but I got preoccupied with other
You
stuff.
meant, you slacker, you. It's okay. I still
Yeah,
forgive you.
I'm preoccupied. Okay,
Preoccupado.
What,
so
you're playing with boxes? Ooh, was it a good one? Was it juicy?
you know what? To quote the great Private Leonard Church from Red
Who's the
versus
guy in a
Blue.
blue
That's
jacket?
Jason Jordan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought so.
Because he can't. He suffered an injury that pretty much ended his career, so he transitioned to being an agent. Sold my car for this seat.
Probably did.
Would be surprised,
Well,
bro.
yeah. I mean, did you hear about like the $40,000 tickets for SummerSlam?
Yes. Insane.
40
It was
fucking
probably a
thousand dollars.
1999 Toyota Corolla. So
The problem is not that they're selling tickets for $40,000.
it's the problem. Somebody's going to buy it for that much.
The problem is that people are buying them. Yes. So somebody's got fucking money, but as Lewis Black would say, but it ain't fucking you.
Nope, no. I can't afford no $44,000 tickets. Are you crazy?
$40,000 is over half my yearly salary, for Christ's sake.
Yeah,
pre-taxes.
insane.
Ugh.
So, but yeah.
From what I
Anyway.
watched, that seemed like a decent match overall.
Yeah, it wasn't
Well,
bad.
well, you missed the fatal four way. We got a debut.
Just tell me.
Jeff Cobb.
Oh, I figured he was going to be there tonight. Okay.
Yeah, see, I forgot what he looked like because it had been a while since I saw him in AEW. Jeremy thought he was Jacob's brother at
No.
first.
Did he wrestle or did he show up to do something?
He and Solo showed up to interfere in the match and ensure that Jacob won, and Jacob didn't necessarily look thrilled.
So he's going to be a part of that little incy dincy group now. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did
see,
a.
okay, see, that's the thing. It's like she does like the reverse roll and gets her, but at the same time, while she's like trying to pin her, she's like going at her eyes. It's like that's like one of the weirdest fucking pins I've ever seen.
Yeah, she has her eyelashes got stuck in her eyeball. Her fake
Yeah,
eyelashes
I
fell in
mean
her eyeball.
that's fine. That's a weird way to
Um,
book something.
I mean, he did
Ah,
do
you
a
know,
pretty
you know.
cool move. He did a cross body while LA Knight was in the on the outside of the turnbuckle, so like he squished LA Knight between the turnbuckle
That's
post
interesting. They put 3 minute warning in that
Hmm.
game.
and I know Rosie and
Yeah, Rose and
Umaga.
Jamal. I mean, it's interesting because of the fact that they're both dead. You
Yeah,
know, I do recognize a lot of those moments. They showed Hogan like dropping or Yoko like dropping Hogan, which was how he beat him at King of the Ring because Hogan, of course, wouldn't never let him do the bonsai drop. They were showing like the Head Shrinker Steiner Brothers match from WrestleMania 9.
it's interesting, as I start to think a little bit about the Anoy family and
And a
like people
why.
that are Anawai, sorry. Um,
Just
but
so
maybe they
people
annoy
aren't
you.
confused by what you mean. I knew what you meant, but just in case, you know.
But as I think about that family and like all the people that are related to them, you seriously could almost have like a full roster of men's wrestling just with that family.
Yeah, you could.
Go back to the Wild Samoans, then you go with, um, you know, Yokozuna,
They have family members
Umaga,
wrestling in other promotions right now. So yeah, we
the
definitely
Tonga
could.
Kid, um,
Yep. Sam
Rakishi,
Fatu, real name. Yeah. Rikishi, of course.
Rakishi,
Samu
uh,
with the head shrinkers.
yeah. And then you have The Rock, um, Roman Reigns, Jay and Jimmy Uso, Jacob Fatu, Solo. Like, there's what 12 guys?
See,
Oh,
that's
so
the
Zam's at
thing.
MetLife. Let's go, guys. We're going to MetLife.
That's
Brother, yeah.
that's the thing. I still don't really know how related The Rock really is because I mean he's Peter Maivia's grandson and Rocky Johnson's son. Rocky Johnson is obviously not Samoan in any way.
Right.
But I don't really know how Peter Maivia is related to the Anoa'i family. I so
It's
like
I
Rock's
know we looked
mom's
it up
side,
that
and
one
I
time,
don't
and
know
I
what
think
the
he's like
what her
on the
side
far
is.
branch of it. Like he's a distant cousin, like he's cousin but distant or something like that.
yeah, so I mean, but for Rock then to say that makes him like Roman's cousin is like
Oh my God, they're
not
showing their
really
OVW
true.
match.
Funny.
Okay, so Peter Maivia's Wikipedia page, it refers to Roman Reigns as his great nephew.
Okay.
Um,
So he's Rock's cousin twice removed.
I guess. I always
Okay.
forget how that like that once removed, twice removed shit works because I think it's stupid.
Killer Mike, detonator.
Yeah, actually, I can't see that.
Dirty Dom. Yo, you know what's funny? So, speaking of,
No, I don't know what's funny, but I'm dying for you to tell me.
um, guess who is third on the list? Do you see who is the third merch seller for WWE right now?
Is it Dom?
I'm gonna go with Dominic Mysterio.
Incorrect. It's Karrion Cross.
Is it
Really?
really?
Yes. It
That's
was that
interesting.
they pulled that was announced the other day that Karrion Cross is the third. He's third on WWE's list for merch selling.
Well, good
And
for him.
his new T-shirt that they just came out with, which I'm not sure what it is, but it's supposed to be the number one selling T-shirt right now.
Good
So
for him.
apparently he has got a following. I was What I see from Karrion Cross now is what I'm used to seeing back in the day when he was on the indie scene. That he really, I think how do I say WWE when he came into WWE, I think he regressed for several years,
It felt like
honestly.
they didn't really know what they wanted to do with him for the longest time.
Yeah, and I think that it kind of pushed him back a couple years as far as like progressing within WWE, to be honest, in my opinion. Because
Yeah.
like the promos he's doing now, is some of the stuff he did on the indie scene and his wrestling and his skill set was, yeah, I can find tons of matches for you guys to watch on the indie scene. You'd be like, wow, where is this in WWE? Yeah, good question. Where is that in
Yeah.
WWE?
And now
Unfortunately.
and then like he seemed pretty aimless for a while. Then they had him grow out his hair, and they changed his gimmick around. Then they started doing the Final Testament, and then the Final Testament really never went anywhere, got over.
Like how Dominic says in
I
5 minutes, I'm the greatest champion ever wear this belt.
I
In
think I
five
think one of
minutes.
the things, Pat, is what you're seeing within wrestling is not a lot of people really buying into the, like, if you want to have a goth gimmick, totally fine. But if you're gonna go like anything where it's like beyond or in that supernatural realm, as we see with the Wyatt Six, it's not gonna last very long. It's
Yeah,
not, no one's really buying into that type of gimmick right now, unfortunately.
yeah, which is why Aleister Black isn't doing like overly
Yes.
spooky
He's
stuff since he's come back to WWE. At least it doesn't look like that. I don't know because I haven't been able to see SmackDown last couple weeks.
he has toned it down. So I
Yeah,
think it's one of those things where like, yeah,
yeah,
he's definitely toned it down. So it's better the way it is right now,
right.
honestly.
But I'll say this for carrying across. So when they released the other Final Testament guys, when they released the Authors of Pain and everything, um, they transitioned his gimmick again. He's starting to do this like thing with AJ Styles and everything. The program with AJ Styles, I guess you can call it. Okay, so I'm going to say this. I think I said it during our WrestleMania show, but again, the gimmick that Karrion Cross is doing right now is not devil's advocate. Okay, devil's advocate is somebody who argues for the sake of arguing or argues because it's people having a discussion and they say, all right, I'll take the contrary point of view, even though I don't really believe it. That's what a devil's advocate is. What Karrion Cross is doing is like similar to what they did when they brought Kane back that one time leading up to the Cena Rock program, where he was telling Cena to embrace the hate. Or it's like the gimmick that
Hmm,
Sean O'Hare was
yeah.
starting to do all the way back in 2003 before they paired him up with Roddy Piper. He's doing the devil on your shoulder, the voice in your head that tells you to do something wrong
I
and you
hear
know it's wrong.
voices in my head.
Yeah.
They talk to me.
It's well, right, it is, but it's like old Disney or Warner Brothers cartoons where Donald Duck or whoever would be faced with a decision, and then like on one shoulder would pop up the small version of Donald Duck with like dressed as an angel with the halo and the white robes, and then on the other shoulder would pop up the devil Donald with the horns and the tail and the pitchfork and everything. You
So
know,
how long until we get what's his name over here? Penta's like tag team partner or whatever the heck he was,
Ray
son, whatever.
Phoenix.
Ray
Yeah,
Phoenix.
Rafe.
Well, like how long until they pair them up? Do you mean?
Yeah.
I
I
think that
don't
I
I
think
don't
I
think
think
it'll be
that'll
that long.
happen. I think that'll happen whenever they decide to do a draft, which of course they haven't made official in any way yet. We expect that it's coming soon, but they haven't
Because
said
that's who he was
when
teaming up with over in AEW, right?
Yeah, because they're
Mhm.
brothers.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
Lucha
and Ray
brothers.
Phoenix is here now. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing him at
He wrestled last night
Yeah,
on,
remember
on
he wrestled at
SmackDown with
WrestleMania.
Andrade.
He subbed in for Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania
Yes.
to wrestle El Grande Americano,
Yes.
the big American.
Yeah, I think they'll be a tag team soon. I think they want them to be singles for a couple months and see how their run does as both being single wrestlers, which they
Yeah,
both
because
can do.
they've both
But
gotten great responses so far. So
yeah,
it's like I understand
ride the
somebody.
wave
I
right now.
understand people like our dear friend AJ who just like say like, oh, they're one of the best tag teams. Why aren't they tagging together? And obviously it had to do with the contractual situations, and Penta was able to go there first.
Yeah.
But
And
he
it
got
was
such a
it was
good
him.
response right away that it's like you're getting a good response here as a singles. You don't want to like necessarily derail that. You want to
It
let
was
it go as
him,
long as you
Ray
can.
Phoenix, and Pac, right?
Hmm?
In AEW, it was him, Ray Phoenix, and Pac, right?
No, was
Yeah,
it?
In that
they were a
trios.
trios tag team for a little bit. Yeah,
Oh, they were okay.
Yeah, thought so.
yeah,
I was gonna say it was Ray Phoenix and Penta, the Lucha Brothers. So
yeah. Pac was with them for a little bit as a trios for a little while.
the guy who never wears clothes.
He's got the tiniest shorts ever. Or as my
Well,
daughter
no,
would say,
like
why are all the guys wearing underwear?
that's something that Cornette and his
He needs
co-host
to get some bro glow.
that's something that Cornette and his co-host have kind of made fun of with Pac. It's like anytime you see him, even when it's like during like backstage segments or like pre-tape segments on AEW, where like you see like all of the Death Riders, Pac is always wearing his wrestling tights. He's never wearing regular clothes.
No, yeah, you're right.
He
He is.
feels
That's
very
like his
comfortable in
thing.
his manhood to show off the manhood.
Yeah, he likes he
Or
likes
lack
his
thereof, whatever you want to say.
he likes his speedos, right? It's all good.
European thing.
Yeah,
I will say this about Pac, Neville, whatever you want to call him. Razor Ramon's toothpick hits harder than you.
Still trying to figure
that
out
now. That's
where
hilarious.
I'm still
And,
trying to
and
figure
is
out where
that and
funny.
that
Dominic
guy
Mysterio's
like
muscles are.
and that guy 2 minutes ago, I think when Penta was coming out, was holding up a sign that said Dom is the first level boss. Um,
He's a first level boss. Oh, it's
yeah.
good. I
No,
like it. I like
I'll
it.
say
That's
this
funny.
about
Glass
Pac.
Joe and Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll say this about Pac. If you remember what he looked like when he first came to the WWE main roster and he was Neville, he didn't have facial hair.
No.
He looked kind of weird. It was almost like his face looked like it wasn't like symmetrical in a way.
Yep.
He was one guy who definitely made the right choice to grow facial hair. He looks so much better with the facial hair.
Correct, bro. Correct.
And again, I'm not
100%.
trying to like say he's ugly or anything like that. I'm just saying it's like you sometimes look at him when he didn't have the facial hair, and sometimes his
Yeah.
face could honestly distract you.
Yes, 100%.
There's something odd about that man when I look at him.
Yes. Oh, he's
Yeah, I'm not
growing
saying.
facial hair.
Yeah,
He
I'm
looks
not saying.
better
I-
now.
I'm
I
not saying he
always-
was the Elephant Man, but you know,
Oh,
I always
God.
blamed it on his ears. His ears distracted me.
whose ears?
Pac's ears.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, true.
yeah. Because his ears kind of almost like at the top, they kind of like almost like bend.
They're shaped differently. Yes, yes, they are.
That's the
Yeah.
kind way of putting it.
Yes,
He
yes.
has differently shaped ears.
Okay, so among the things that I thought we were going to talk about tonight, Pac's ears were definitely high on that list. Oh, that looked like it hurt. Kicked Dom right in the face while Dom's upside down on the turnbuckle.
I mean, Dom is awesome. Like, I give him credit. He's definitely come a long way. He's fun to watch. He's fun to listen to.
Hey, think about it this way. Several weeks ago on Cornette's podcast, he was asked, like a reader sending a question, is there anybody you ever thought like that you felt like you were ended up being wrong about, like with your like assessment of them? And he was kind of like, yeah. And then the first name he said was Dom. And he
Yeah.
had every reason to say it when he did, because when he said he didn't see Dom making it, that's when Dom was still a goody two shoes face teaming with his father.
Yeah, and it's hard really to judge that because you don't know like how much they're protecting him and how much they're letting him do and try things out and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it
yeah.
also once again goes to show though, it is so much harder to get over as a face than as a heel.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And Dom is not one. Listen,
I would like to share something then.
he's a couple years in his career. So at some point, maybe he'll be able to learn to become a face, but the heel thing has worked wonders for him.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be able to transition back to being a face at some point, but it's like just because they were cheering him at WrestleMania doesn't mean you do it.
No.
He's
Yes,
one of
Jeremy.
the best heels that you have right now. So
What do you want to
I
share
need
with
to
us,
be able
Jeremy?
to. I need to be able to share. Not just share my voice.
Share. Sonny and
Oh.
share.
Hey, one of my great mottos in life, I'm a firm believer that sharing is caring, and that's why I don't share.
Because you don't care. I get it. You slimy bastard.
So this is the Neville or Pack that we used to remember.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look, he just had the chin thing, man. At that
yeah. But again, his nose looks a little weird to me
he
too.
has a long face.
And this is like I said, with his ears on. I'm not making fun of the guy. Just you're right. They are out from the top, like they got pushed down.
Yeah.
All right, that's all. I wanted to
Neville,
give everybody the picture that we knew in our heads.
Neville and the horse walk into a bar. The bartender looks at Neville only and says, "Why the long face?" Meanwhile, the horse is all like, "Excuse me,
Oh my God, too
what am
funny.
I, chopped liver?"
Too funny.
Ooh, I got to tell you, you guys. So, you guys. So, for the rest of the audience does not know this, we were down in Florida. My family and I, we went down there for a cheer competition, and Yosef thought it was not sure, and he thought it was a summit. That is, they have two summits. They have the D1 summit and the D2 summit. The D2 summit is currently going on down in Florida.
Yeah, the reason I asked is because, like I told you before, like my cousin's daughter is in it,
Yeah.
and she had just posted, she did like a picture dump too, like as you guys did, and they were like, and her cheer team came in third place. So I wasn't
Okay.
sure if you girls, your
Were
girls
they
had
now?
moved over to that or
Did
what.
she do a? Did she do a? Were they down there the week before, like the same weekend that we were down there? Okay, yeah, that they were at the D1 summit because now, right now, there's a gym from up here that's down there at the D2 summit.
Yeah, they
I
were at
don't
the
know what the hell the difference is
yeah, and
between the two,
I
but
wasn't sure if your girls were still in the one or if you guys had moved over to the summit. I don't know how any of
well,
that shit works.
the summit is specifically for, and maybe they have a division for it, but I am not aware that they do. It is all-star gyms from all over the
Okay.
country that go to
Okay.
that. So
Okay. So
that's as
that's
far
where
as
my
I know, it's
cousin's daughter's in. She's
specific.
like in an all-star gym then.
Yeah, yeah, it's specific to all-star gyms. They may have a performance rec division, but I don't believe so.
Gotcha, gotcha.
But yeah, the one that we go to, they do all-star there too, also, but we do not compete against them. They have a huge, like, it's put on by Cheer and Dance Extreme, and that's a big, like,
Wait a minute. Did you say?
company.
Did you say extreme?
ECW, EC. Okay, go ahead.
But that's the company
Ad
that
company.
puts on this particular, and they do it with another smaller promotion
Okay.
that does. They specifically cater to rec organization, performance rec organizations, and they also have like traditional cheer groups that do it too. So,
Gotcha.
so yeah, that's where we go, and yeah, both the teams that my daughter's on got first place. So now what they do is because they host it in four different locations, in four different locations. They do one in Virginia Beach. They do one in Florida, down in Orlando.
Okay.
They do one in Sandusky, Ohio, and then Vegas.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, Sandusky, Ohio.
Sandusky, Ohio.
Yeah, I
Tommy
know.
Boy?
Yeah.
That's a random weird place, okay, but all right.
And some of the parents were like, and this is, so if any of the parents ever see this, I'm not making fun of you, but some of the parents were like, yeah, we should just go to Ohio. And it's like, yeah, let me just go to the state that looks exactly like mine. How awesome. It has the same exact weather. That sounds like
Excuse me,
so much
let's
fun.
go to Vegas. Come
There's
on
one.
now.
Hey. There's
What?
one big difference between Ohio and Pennsylvania. Ohio is much flatter.
Okay.
Not Indiana flat, but almost.
Yeah. Um, and then some people
Very
were like
true.
some people were like Virginia Beach, and I was like, okay, Virginia Beach is cool. Like we could go to Virginia Beach. It is a drive. Like you can't, like you could fly there, but it doesn't make sense. Like you're
It
gonna
doesn't
pay
make sense
just
to
as
fly
much.
to Virginia Beach from Pennsylvania now.
No, because you're gonna pay more on the ticket than it would cost you to drive down there. Just because most airlines do not fly to Virginia Beach area. Like,
Yeah,
and if they do,
Virginia Beach is also not a completely horrible drive time
no,
wise.
it's about 6 to 7 hours, I think, to get to Virginia Beach.
Yeah, I mean
But
it's not fun, but it's not.
so it's one of those things. Okay. Oh, ow.
It's a
Ugh.
piece of cake for the many times I've driven from North Carolina to Pennsylvania in the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Easy
So
peasy drive.
I said we should go to Vegas, and my wife's like, no.
I mean, I think you have to go
It
somewhere that's still can be considered like appropriate for the kid.
well,
Vegas is
well,
kid friendly these days. Stop
I'll
I was gonna
it.
say, but like also like where like there's gonna be like enough activities for the kids or what have you, and like
uh,
I'm sure you can do that for Vegas, but I think there's still always gonna be like a there's still gonna be that Vegas stigma, I guess, where people you're gonna have
it's
those people who just would absolutely refuse to even consider going to a place like Vegas.
yeah. So I'll put it to you this way.
Mm.
Joe knows the type of parents that we had in the rec organization.
Mhm.
Now these are not the same exact parents. Some of them are.
There's
Could you imagine
similarities.
trying
I
could you
cannot.
imagine trying to wrangle parents in with all that freedom at Vegas to go to like a basketball tournament?
Oh Christ.
That's what my wife was like.
Do,
She's
do,
like, "No, we can't take our parents to Vegas."
do you know what we would have to do?
Yeah,
It would be like the parents would be MIA and the coaches and the people would be like, all right, kids, let's go. We'd be the parents for the whole fucking trip because the parents themselves will be out doing who knows what at that point.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you don't want the parents going to Vegas and being like Chevy Chase in Vegas Vacation, where
Look
he,
at all the shenanigans in this match.
where he blows like thousands of dollars against
El
some kid's
Grande
tire.
Americano just interfered in the match.
Yep.
And JD just interfered before that.
Well, I don't think any of us thought Dom was losing. Hey, there's Macho Man.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they want to keep the feud going between Penta and
Yeah,
Chad Gable, aka El
I'm
Grande
not.
Americano.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that they want to keep that going either. I still do wonder about the shelf life of it, though.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see how long they're able to keep that going for sure, for sure.
Let Chino cheat is what
Killer Instinct on
freaking thing.
Ultra
Killer
60.
Instinct on Ultra 64, 30 years later. I don't get it. I'm sure that's some kind of video game reference.
It is, yeah, I don't
So yeah, we're gonna continue to go to Florida
never.
for now. Is the idea.
Virginia Beach would have worked too. I mean, that's closer.
Well, the thing with Virginia Beach, so this is the thing we found out so far is like some of the other competitions because they're starting to expand and give them 4 locations to go to. Not every location has a lot of competition. And if we're going to go to a big
Hmm.
competition like that, we want the girls to have a lot of competition. We want them to have to really compete. You know,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they go
yeah.
to
That makes
quite a few
sense.
competitions throughout the year that maybe have 1 or 2 other teams, maybe 3 other teams besides themselves to compete against. And it happens in a lot of these different competitions. My niece, who's been an all-star cheer forever, she's gone to competitions. She's like, we're not going against anybody this time. It's like, okay, you're going against yourself. Got it. So like
It makes it
Abby's
challenging.
one team, her junior team, they were up against 11 other teams. So they came in first
Oh,
out of 12 teams total.
that's good.
And the senior team went against they were one they had 6 other teams that they were competing against. So like the Sandusky, Ohio competition, they had one other junior youth team, one other junior level 1 team. So they would only be going against one team or 2 teams.
Oh,
So it's
okay,
like,
okay.
what's the,
I get you.
why go to that competition?
Yeah. Just keep
So
going to Orlando at that point. So yeah, that makes
yeah.
sense. I understand. I get that.
So the really cool thing is,
Just for clarification, I was not flipping you off. I was
I know
flipping off
you're
what they're
flipping off
currently
the crown
showing.
jewel.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's not a crown jewel. It's the whole Saudi Arabia tourism bullshit.
yeah, I would not go there, not just because I have no interest in going there.
Look, I'm
But
sure there are many nice parts of Saudi Arabia, but for many reasons, I wouldn't never consider going there.
um, but the one cool thing about this is so they have those 4 different locations. What they're doing is they're taking every team that got first place at one of the competitions and they're putting them in a virtual competition against those winners to see who will be the one of one. So, and then
Okay, that's
those
cool.
teams, like Abby's team got rings because they were the winners at their location. If they win against the other 4 teams, so against the other 3 teams, so the champion from Virginia, the champion from Sandusky, Ohio, and the champion from Vegas, then they'll get jackets. They'll get called to get sized for jackets, and then they get 1 jackets.
Oh, that's pretty
So
dope.
then they're
I
like the
like that.
champion, like the one champion of all champions, which I
The
think is
one
pretty
of
cool.
one champs. I like
Yeah.
that. That's good. That's definitely good.
So it's pretty
That's
cool
cool.
that they're doing that,
100%.
and they did that last year too. But our organization did not have a good showing last year. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't. Um, the one team fell, like they had a stunt fall, and one girl went to the hospital,
Oh
and
God, yeah. That's
it
it's not
wasn't
what you want
good.
to see.
No, it was not good.
So today, as I messaged you guys earlier, our spring season ended for XP League.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so this week and next week is qualifiers. So we play 3 games today. We play 3 games next week, and the top 8 out of 33 teams qualify for National American Finals in Florida in July,
Okay.
right? So I have one team that's already qualified. They've qualified in the first qualifier like last year. So my other team has been kind of like they're not happy with like the Fortnite seasons, so they really haven't been 100% concentrating the way they should, put it that way. So going into today, I was like, listen, guys, we have to lock in. Like, you guys are too good not to qualify. You guys have just been slacking, you're not motivated, whatever the case may be. So we had a talk. So game one, they get 4 eliminations off the bat. They drop, they get another team tries to challenge them, boom, they wipe the team. Another team tries a third party, they kill one guy, and then the rest of the other 2 players like leave. They run away. They didn't want it. They didn't want to battle. They rotate and they get too cocky, and boom, they get wiped. They come in 24th place with 4 eliminations. So in the scoring of Fortnite, place every elimination's 2 points. Placement is what really jacks your points, right? You come in the top 10 consistently, you're gonna get good points.
No, yeah, that makes
So
sense.
we had a good talk in for game after game one. They all knew what they did wrong. So game two comes rolling around. They started going through. They had some sloppy communication, but they had really good communication. Where it was the fact that they ended up with 15 eliminations and they came in fifth place. So it was like 74 points they got for that game. Game three didn't get as many eliminations. I think they got 7, but they were playing a little more safe where they wanted to tag people for Storm Surge so they didn't get tagged with that and just kind of rotate, build their, box up, tag people, and then just play end game, get eliminations when it's like the last 5, 7, 8 teams going at it. And then they ended up getting 7 eliminations. They came in third place. So they got like 66 points, I think. So they got 140 points for the day, which is great. So that was perfect. So this is what they did this week is what they need to do next week. So what they do is we play 3 games and they count your 2 best scores and your lowest score drops. So when they drop the standings for the first week of qualifiers, we'll see where they're at, and then we just got to keep going. It's just one of the things though that is it'll be great if they make it because then I'll have 2 teams down there. I'll have 2 teams to overlook, but it's fine. The kids are good. I have no complaints about them. They're kids. Sometimes they just don't, their concentration's all over the place, but it is what it is. But one of the things that's kind of sad is that um the location I'm coaching at now is actually not going to renew their XP League franchise lease. So we will only the teams that have qualified for NAF for all of our games will be playing in the summer season.
Mm-hmm.
And then once NAF is over, the location I play for, Hanover, PA/Townsend, Maryland, will be no more. So all the kids will have to go find other locations to play with if they want to, and I'll have to find another place to coach if I choose to. It's one of those things where, the original owner of XP League sold it to Unleash Brands.
Yep.
And, when you sell your business to another company, things aren't going to be run the same. You know what I mean? And there has been for as much as I love coaching in XP League, and my Nico's in it. He plays for the Asheville, North Carolina location. There are things where Unleash brand is not running XP League properly, put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like they were
Gotcha.
talking about having NAF be all virtual because they're losing tens of thousands of dollars by hosting it down there. Well, if you're losing money, you got to figure out what to do. Just don't throw it all virtual. Where it's going to be in person. Whatever happened between the Unleash brand and XP League HQ management and the owners, whatever the money situation was, they got it figured out. So we'll be still going to Florida. They need to figure that out for next year, for 2026, because it kind of
Yeah.
takes away from the tournament being, virtual. It's not the same thing. And then another thing too is like Unleash Brands, like they eliminated the production team for XP League. So they took the whole production team away. So now the owners are like streaming on Twitch. So we don't have a main stream on Twitch anymore for the XP League on Saturdays. And there's just things where they're taking I understand there's a money aspect, but they're taking some steps back to make XP League go further than what it's going right now. Because it could really expand to be something great. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same point, I feel like they're taking a couple steps back instead of moving forward like they should.
So do they stream every Saturday then?
Technically, we did, yeah. They stream. They start, so they don't stream Valorant, Overwatch games. They basically which they really should do that too, because we have Valorant and Overwatch games during the week and on Saturdays. The main games that they stream on Twitch was 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Apex Legends starts. So they do 2 rounds of that. They would stream that. And then at 2:45, we have our silver and gold divisions playing for Fortnite, and then 4 o'clock or other silver and gold divisions playing for Fortnite, and then 5:15 is our plat division that plays for Fortnite. So you're getting like each one is they play 2 rounds normally during the season. So you're getting a lot of Fortnite for that,
Mm-hmm.
which is great, but it's just it hasn't been consistent and there's been some issues. And like I say, for as much as I love being with XP League, it's been challenging. We have a Discord. We use Discord for communication and whatnot, and just be it in some of the Discord channels, just seeing like some of the coaches and owners going at each other, just being a little bit unprofessional with stuff and things like that. It's like no one's really monitoring that, and it's kind of like getting a lot of hands. Like, hey guys, let's be a little professional, be adults. If you have an issue, you know who to go
Yeah.
to. Stop throwing your frustrations in the
The,
chat. You know what I mean? Because
the,
it's not. I understand you're frustrated, but it's not really a good look on you. And just
oh.
calm down.
In
Um,
all, just like any organization that's dealing with kids, in the end, if you're gonna the the things that you do ultimately affect the kids that are part of your program. So you got to be
yeah, and
making the decisions for that are going to allow your league to grow, your enrollments, enrollments, getting kids into the program, allow that to grow. And if you're doing anything that's taken away from that, it's not a good thing. Like especially if, like you're saying, they're fighting on Discord. You said, like throwing chats and like,
yeah, we have like Discord, like the main communication, like Fortnite chat and whatnot, and like the owners and the league admins, and the coaches. Sometimes they vent too much in there, and the way
yeah,
they go about it, and here's another thing too, is like some of the owners are probably in their late 30s, early 40s and 50s, right? But a lot of the coaches and the area coordinators and the admins are like in their, and I'm sorry, this is where it comes into an age thing. Some of them are like all in their 20s, and you could tell by the way they talk in Discord. So it's kind of like, stop.
mm-hmm.
You guys don't know what being professional is about yet. I don't know what your day job is, but whatever you're doing now, like you're not reflecting your comments in a proper manner. So it's kind of like no one's monitoring it, no one's like really doing what they're supposed to, and it's sad in a way that it's going how it's going. But I still talk to my old league commissioner, and he's pretty much like one of the top guys in XP League HQ. He's a really good dude. He's really trying to make changes and do things. So, and I've always told him, I was like, anytime I can help out, I'm willing to do so. To help the league in any way I can. But yeah, I mean, it's great. We have a lot of locations. We have like 50 plus locations that went out throughout the United States and some in Canada. So it's definitely worth it. But it's just kind of like they need to figure out the growth and the finances and how to go about it. Like I'm not sure. And like we hold, our finals at Full Sail University. So I'm not
So
sure what
Pat
full
McAfee just threw off his shirt and everybody was like, yeah.
He's ready to
Michael
go
Cole,
because he took his shirt off, man.
and
And Michael Cole's like, Pat McAfee's in the best shape of his life. I'm like,
yeah, probably not. He's better
I'm
at
not,
poker.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, he's
I'm
in the
sure
best
he was
shape of
better
his
shape in
life. Not
football.
not not the time when he was an active NFL player.
But it's one of those things too. Like I don't know what Full Sail University charges XP League or Unleashed Brands to host it there. So there's a lot of different things and costs
Oh
and
yeah.
whatnot.
They could probably
But
work out some kind of partnership where they advertise for them and they probably get a less of a fee, but
and
I mean,
here's
there's all kinds of things that go into that stuff
and,
that we don't know about.
We
and
can
here's
work
and
it
here's the other thing
out.
too is
We
one of the
can
things I
work
think
it
they lack on is that you know the the two buildings that they have the tournaments in. You could hold more people. It's one of those things where I feel like instead of like selling just tickets to like the families and friends and the parents of the
Hmm.
kids, like advertise that a little bit more so like the general public can come see this, kind of come see what's going on. You know what I mean? I think they can generate more money by doing that, which I don't know why they don't do or what the reason behind it is. If they're worried about like capacity, then figure out what they can put in there as far as the capacity of people in both buildings and then go off of that. So I don't know. It's just a little sad to see how things go. There's positives and negatives to everything. But overall, hey, I just want my kids to do well next weekend. Stay in the top eight for points so they get a chance to go down to NAF and experience it and fight to get in the top three, you
He's
know.
got kids.
So but it's fun. I enjoy it.
So how long
Definitely
until
so.
this match has to devolve into Gunther just beating the shit out of McAfee?
I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
seriously,
I mean
it has to.
they're taking us kind of slow here, but
Yeah. So as I told Pat, I had, and I don't know if you were on quite yet, Joe. I had reached out and just gave my info to a couple different coaches in the area for basketball,
mhm.
and I didn't expect a reply this fast. But one of the coaches replied to me. I was like, "Oh." He's like, let's talk tomorrow." I'm like, "Okay, sounds good to me. Sure."
That's
One,
awesome. That works. I like
one,
it.
one of the coaches got back to you right away and he said, "Get the fuck out
Yeah, yeah. No, it's one of those things. Like, I think coaches, you know, stop coaching. Especially like not the head coaches, but like the JV coaches and the freshman coaches. Like they stop coaching, families and whatnot, and they can just step away, and it's not a huge deal. Like a lot of
Yeah.
guys will step into those positions in a heartbeat. As they're just
Yeah.
sometimes they're just looking for an in. So
Yeah, 100%. The JV and the freshman coaches, I think you see a lot more turnover for them
yeah,
than you
because they
do
move on to
for
head coaching positions and
yeah.
whatnot.
Yep.
But
Go
yeah,
from the
it's
girls to the boys or the boys to the girls and flip flop therefore and all that jazz. Yeah.
yeah. So and I just remember I remember talking to this coach last year over the summer. He was handling both all levels of the program for summer league. So he was coaching the JV, the varsity. I don't think he was doing the freshman. I think he was just handling the JV and the varsity.
That's
Like so
still
he had his
enough.
yeah, he had his hands full coaching and it's maybe that's what he wants help with. I don't know. We'll find out. But I'm
Hey,
excited to give him a call because I've been struggling, folks. I've been struggling to find another opening.
Listen, sometimes it's not easy, man.
It ain't easy.
Being cheesy.
It ain't. No, I was singing the David Bowie song.
Uh,
Why did I? Yeah, no, she talking back.
I don't think you should be talking in that way.
I'm sorry, but I feel like this match has already gone too long.
yeah, I know. The McAfee, the non wrestler, against Gunther, the human destruction machine, gives him a punt to the back. He's punting him.
Ah.
That looked exactly like how he would have punted a football.
Indeed so.
I'm not sure what's more annoying, this version of Michael Cole where he has to like, so openly cheer for his broadcast partner or, heel Michael Cole.
Heel Michael Cole.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to throw it out there.
Ooh, vicious kick to the chest.
Oh,
Down goes Pat McAfee.
so vicious.
Gunther's like, come on, you want to come in? Come on, Michael Cole, you want to come in?
Would you like to play a game, Michael Cole?
Oh, so one of my best friends, Marcus, was down in Miami um for the Formula One race that took place on May 4th, right? So went down with family. His birthday is May 3rd. So, they went to Miami. They went to the beach on Saturday and did stuff. But, and I follow Formula One, so they are trying to make Miami's F1 race like Monaco in the US.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Oh no. Oh no, no, no.
Maybe from
Oh,
advertising and stuff like that, they probably could, but
oh no. Marcus told me the people he saw down there, yeah. It was
they got the big
celebrity.
names in.
Oh, it was celebrities all over the place. When
Like
they
it's just one of
parked
those. Go ahead,
across the
sorry.
street, when they parked across the street from where the race was, he goes, my rental car was not up to par for the vehicles that I saw in
My
that lot.
rental car. What did he rent? Just tell me what he rented.
Oh, it
He
was
tell
an
you.
SUV. It was an SUV.
He's like, my Ford Escape was not on par
Yeah, no, it
with the
was like
Bugattis
it
and
was whatever like one of the 7-passenger like SUVs as that he got. But
Toyota Corolla just did not work.
yeah, he was like, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Porsches. Um, I saw a couple Bugattis, stuff like that. No high rolling, expensive $100,000 vehicles, right?
No Maseratis.
Um, if there were, they were probably used ones because it's cheaper to buy a used one than a brand new one these days. Well, it's been like that for 7 years now. Um,
It's
but
cheaper
with
to buy used than brand new. You don't say.
yeah, but no, you don't understand the depreciation. Would you rather buy a year old?
Um,
Would you rather buy a car brand new for $110,000 or wait a year and buy it for 32?
okay. Did you just say to me that I don't understand depreciation?
No, that's not what I said. I was just trying to make a point in regards to how
he's like, listen,
like
Joe, my
like the
body's
amount of
depreciated
depreciation of the
tenfold
car.
over the last 2 years.
I don't know, Jeremy. I think you basically just said I don't know my own profession.
No, it's not what I mean. Like it's for the specific fuck you both. It's for the specific type of car I'm talking about.
You guys are a
You
bunch of
don't even
assholes.
put Maseratis in that category anymore because they depreciate so fast.
I don't
Um,
know.
That's crazy.
I
Like,
think I've rattled him.
no,
yeah, I
you
know you
haven't.
were telling us about that last time with what that one particular type of Maserati. Like,
All of them.
All
That
of them.
majority of all of them, you
That's
can get
crazy because
them.
Maserati, like when they first, maybe it's just because of the ease of people getting them because it's not a superly overpriced car. Like it's an expensive ass car. Don't get me freaking wrong,
Yeah, I
but the
think the
fact that
cheapest
it's
model is like 80 some thousand and they go up to 120.
yeah.
But yeah,
So I mean, but if you think in the world of exotic cars and how the expense for an exotic car, thinking about
mhm.
Lamborghinis, Ferraris, all those different vehicles,
McAfee has
there
become
is
a
so many
multi-color.
vehicles out there that are these exotic cars that are way more expensive than a Maserati. You
Have you
know,
noticed that McAfee
I mean,
has
look at
become
freaking Bugattis. What do those start at 210?
Yeah,
McAfee has
probably
become
400.
a multicolored athlete?
Yeah, he is. So back to my story.
You know,
So
the top half is red and the bottom half is pale white.
we
So,
got to kick off. So when they were down there,
ooh, nice job by Gunther in the spit take.
my friend Marcus told me that he's like, yeah, my wife and son went to a stand to get apparel, a hat, a Red Bull hat for Max Verstappen, which I despise that guy. He's a whiner.
I don't even
Um,
know who that is.
he's the LeBron James of Formula One. So um, a hat cost them $100.
Well, that's very reasonable. I can see that. WWE
What the
doesn't
hell
even
was
charge
that?
that much
What the
for
hell was
hats
that
at
hat made out
pay-per-views.
of?
Marcus
Indestructible
got
fabric?
Marcus wanted a Ferrari Polo with Lewis Hamilton's number on it. They didn't have his size, but those were going for 175.
Freaking shirt?
He ended up getting like jersey t-shirt with Ferrari, all the sponsors, and that was a buck 10.
Let me tell you something.
He
Let me
spent
tell you something here, sucker.
Let
he
me tell
spent
you something,
he spent
brother.
almost $150 on 3 meals, and all three items of food were burgers and fries
So
and drinks
here's
and
the thing that I don't
chips
understand,
or
and
whatever they were selling.
somebody's got to enlighten me because evidently I'm an idiot. Um, thanks, Pat.
No, that's not what I was nodding to. It
Uh,
was purely
So Michael Cole's in
coincidental.
the ring now.
yes. Um, the
One more
question
time.
becomes
One more time.
how does like I get it F1 uh
They're super
um
rich. They're
they're
that's
they're very rich,
billion-dollar
but
company.
it's a
Greedy too.
it's a sport that except for you, I'm gonna go with you, Joe. None of my other friends I ever talked to them. Nobody at my work have I ever talked about Formula One racing. Like it's one of those things that is I want to say, and I might be wrong with this. This is where somebody needs to educate me. Is strictly a European thing.
It
Like
Yeah, I
is
it
for
is
think
the most.
so.
huge in
It
Europe.
is. It has always been a European thing. The interest in the US has grown probably in the past 7 to 8 years. And now the US hosts the most races on any continent. We have 3 races. So we have Miami, then we have one in Texas, and then we have the new one that's in Vegas.
And doesn't and France has one, right? They have one, but it like goes through the countryside and stuff like that, don't they? Or am I
That
thinking
is
of
that's a different one. It's not
okay.
Formula
Okay,
One.
that's not Formula One. There's
No.
what's the other racing that is like that
Are you
that
thinking
has
of
a
Le
very
Mans?
similar car style.
Um, that is I don't remember the class of that, what that's called. But it's different. I know what you're talking about, but different.
But that's the one that probably goes through the France countryside and stuff like that, where they're
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
more of an
Formula
open, kind of an
the
open road racing.
yeah, the only Monaco really is the big one for Formula One where it goes through like Monaco's real streets
Hmm.
because that
Grand the
racetrack is
Grand Prix of Monaco.
because that racetrack is the majority of it's very narrow and windy, all these crazy turns. You're surprised at how these cars can make some of these like 90-degree turns
Yeah, the
on the
Grand Prix
streets.
racing the Grand Prix of Monaco is a little bit like racing Yoshi's Valley.
Yeah. But you listen, it's grown because of the drivers. It's a billion-dollar company. They're greedy fucks. People can say that the group who runs Formula One is almost as corrupt as the IOC for the Olympics. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This
So
this match went way too long.
Yep.
Yeah, it did. But no, it's a huge money maker. It's
Well, yeah,
expensive
if
for the
you're freaking
tickets. He said it's a great experience. He had fun. He sent me a video. They were at like turn 13, but he sent me the video. It was a cool video, like where the seats were. They were good for the racetrack. So it's a great experience. It's just it's very expensive. I
it's and
told
it's
I told him I was like, there's a YouTube video that goes through every racetrack and shows you how expensive each one is, like every country and every racetrack, and it puts it in American dollars. I don't remember which one it is, but I told him he could have flown there. All three of them could have flown there. Their plane tickets, hotel, tickets for the race, and the food. They could have flew to that place for a weekend and would have spent probably $2,500 less than they spent to go to Miami.
and it's one of those things like with a race like that, you can't see the whole track, right?
Not for road courses, no. Formula One
No.
is strictly road courses.
Yeah, and Formula One strictly road courses, so you can only see like your turn, maybe the turn before you, depending on how the course is set up, and maybe the turn
And
after you.
and depending where the seats are, the stands,
Yeah.
yes, correct.
And you're paying way more for that ticket than you are for a NASCAR ticket.
Oh yeah, even for
Li-
IndyCar, you're paying
Like,
more for that too.
yeah, in IndyCar, like that's that's crazy because at least with most races for NASCAR, you can see the whole track.
Yeah.
You may now it's far away depending on where you are, but you can see the whole track. Like you're not
Still just
missing
a
any
big
of the
circle.
race. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I'll go in circle. I
Yeah, I
turn
mean,
left.
yeah,
I turn
NASCAR
left.
is mostly ovals. They have a couple road courses mixed in throughout their season. IndyCar
Or you
has
had the
changed.
tri-ovals like Pennsylvania.
They don't even
Tri-oval.
race. They don't even race Pocono anymore.
I think it's been a little while since they've raced Pocono. I think they
Yeah,
do
because
like this,
Indy,
not the sprint car series. What's the series under the main sprint car? What do they even call the main series anymore?
yeah, the minor leagues. Yeah, the trucks I might think might still do Pocono.
Yeah,
Um,
I
How soon until Pocono goes the way of Nazareth?
if
true. IndyCar doesn't even race at Pocono. They haven't raced at Pocono in probably like 6 years.
yeah, I think the amateur or minor league, whatever they call it, I forget what that cup's called, but I think they still race Pocono. But yeah, I think
I think
how
it's
many
called
years
the
has it
Piston
been?
Cup.
Because we used to
Yeah, they
Jill's
keep
uncle
changing the
used to
name
go
of
up
all
there.
that shit.
Jill's uncle used to go up there. He used to be one of the EMTs up there every year, and he was going up there every year. I wonder when the last time he went up there it was. He used to
I've gone
volunteer
to
to do
a
that.
I've gone to a couple NASCAR races in Pocono. I've gone to one IndyCar race at Pocono. It's fun. It legit is. You know,
I would go
like
see it
NASCAR.
live. I can't watch it on TV. There's no way I'm going to watch that on TV.
Yeah, I mean, NASCAR is mostly oval with a handful of road courses. IndyCar now is mostly road courses with a handful of ovals. They've kind of, for whatever reason, I'm not sure the relationship with a lot of the oval tracks. They're not doing as many
Yeah, I might
um
have been thinking of IndyCar when I
as
was
they
thinking
used
that there
to.
was something different, but Formula One's definitely the one I was thinking with the road courses.
Yeah, they're all road. So yeah, I mean, you're like, and you think about it, like for those road courses, the most expensive seats are really going to be the start finish line. It's going to have the most seats because you're going to want to see the start and the finish, especially the finish. All the other seats are cheaper, but you're just not going to get, you're only going to get so much action on those road courses.
Let's
I don't know
see
how. Okay, so
action.
quick question.
Let's see
We just saw
people.
we just saw the commercial for Karate Kid, what Generations, or whatever the hell
Yes.
it was called. What do we think?
Nah.
Really?
I'm also somebody
I'm
who
interested.
I'm also somebody who's never been a huge fan of Karate Kid movies, so
Okay,
You do
I'm
not like Mr. Miyagi.
I'm a
Oh, how
little
I
dare
didn't
you?
say
indifferent.
anything about Mr. Miyagi.
I'm a little indifferent towards it, just because it definitely feels like a money grab for the fact that they would brought the Cobra Kai series to Netflix.
It is. It
Like
is.
they're doing it,
Dude,
they're
I
trying to
mean, by
cash in as
definition,
much as they can on the that.
yeah,
Of
yeah.
course.
But by definition, sequels are money grabs.
Well, this is
Yeah.
like the fifth sequel, so.
But
But yeah, so
I'm
it's
interested to
it's.
see it, honestly.
I mean, it's in. The way that I understand it, the way it sounds like Jackie Chan's character also trained with Mr. Miyagi at one point in time.
I,
It sounds like
maybe, or
it's
they
what
know
the,
each other somehow or something.
yeah,
We'll find out in the movie, but
because he goes
it kind of
searching for
seems like that.
Danielson.
Yeah, it kind of seems like that, but
For
it'll
some
be
reason, I must find you, Daniel-san.
So I,
I
I I
have no
can say
idea why.
this: it doesn't seem like they're incorporating anybody but Ralph Macchio from the Cobra Kai series into the movie. Looks
that we
like they're
know
just
of.
bringing Ralph Macchio into it because he's from the original series, original movie. Besides,
Cobra Kai.
what the hell is his name? I can't think of his name. The guy that plays Danny, Daniel, not Daniel, Johnny. I can't think of the guy's name, the actor's name.
I
Shit,
always
that
forget
plays
too.
Johnny.
I can never remember.
Put him in a body bag, Johnny.
Yeah, we'll see if they do put
Um,
anybody from the Cobra Kai series in the movie by chance. Maybe we'll see. I'm interested to see it, to be honest with you. So I'm kind of definitely curious about it. I was actually just thinking about that the other day after I went to see Thunderbolts. There was a couple trailers that I forgot. I'm like, oh yeah, that movie's coming out this summer. God damn it, gotta mark that down to go see.
can't miss it. It's a can't miss.
Ballerina's one of them. I want to go see that.
That's
Um,
one I definitely don't have to see
um,
because I've still never seen any of the John Wick movies.
and then I
I
want to go see The Last Mission Impossible. That's coming out in July as well,
No,
or June.
no, that comes out in 2 weeks.
Oh shit, is it?
That's Memorial Day weekend, yeah.
Oh crap, that's right. I don't know why I thought that was
so we got
later.
2 matches left.
Nope.
One match.
Yep.
Wow.
Remember,
A
there's
ruthless aggression.
it's another 5 match card and everything. So yeah.
There
The
was
funny
another
thing is,
movie
what
too I wanted to see. I
one of the
can't remember
five
what it was.
matches that they put on there didn't really need to be a match on a card.
Oh, absolutely. It was just a fill-in match.
Yes, and who was responsible for training all those guys? That was me, motherfucker.
That's right, it was me. I was the original. You can't see me. No.
Yeah, that
God
that class that came
damn.
that class that came through OVW at that point in time was pretty stacked. It was a pretty
Yeah,
stacked
you
class
had
because it
John
wasn't that
Cena, you had Randy Orton, you had Batista, you had Brock Lesnar, and you had Benjamin Shelton.
who?
Did you change your
This,
name, sir? Did you reverse your name?
the sad thing is that Shelton Benjamin, he he was just as talented as any of those guys, but
Just the mic skills.
yeah, he lacked the mic skills, and because of that, they just with where those guys went off to, he didn't get the push.
Like his tag team with
He
what's his
lacked
name
he
during like
lacked the gift of gab, as they say. Yes,
I mean he was a great tag team with what's his name during like I can't remember the other guy's name.
Charlie Haas.
Yeah, Charlie
Yes,
Haas.
Charlie
Forget.
House.
They were a great tag team. They were the little group with Kurt Angle, that was great stuff too. But
I don't know if this is 25 years in the making. This match.
yeah, I hate when they do that shit. 25 years in the making for another match. So okay, since this match is coming up, who do you think after this match with Randy Orton, who do you think the other actual matches Cena will have, and who are they going to be with?
Ugh, hard to say.
You think it's going to be 4 matches?
I think he'll definitely wrestle. Why do I feel like we're gonna get a Rock Cena match at some point in
No,
time?
I don't think so.
I doubt that. That's the one I think is probably will not happen.
And I'm fine with
Um,
that.
No, I'm definitely okay with that. Um,
Their
let's
match,
see who's still currently
their matches,
wrestling or could wrestle.
the Rock Cena matches a dozen years ago were painful enough for Christ's sake, and that's when Cena was still in full ring shape, and only Rock wasn't. So Rock and Cena
Uh,
trying to work a match now might be one of the worst things ever.
I think Cena will wrestle Punk because there's
yeah,
history with those two.
yeah, I definitely see that being a match.
Will they do that at Money in the Bank? I wonder.
Definitely, who knows? Um,
We'll find out at the end of this match because I'm sure whoever it's going to be is going to come down and maybe not interfere, but definitely get there. Something's going to happen at the end of this match or during this match that gives us the who's next on the John Cena tour.
I mean, here's the thing. I think Punk's
Sure.
won. At one point, I thought Seth Rollins, but he's super heel now, so that's not going to happen.
Roman, probably Roman.
Roman is another option, definitely. Another Cody match is definitely another option. Does he retire with the belt, or does he lose the belt in
He's got to lose
whatever show they have in December?
the only way he loses the belt. The only way he retires with the belt is if they plan on introducing a new belt. But I feel like they just brought that current belt out not too long ago. Like, how old is that belt?
Well, that was the belt they made for Roman when he had the two belts, and they made that one for him to carry one belt and unified those two.
So that's what, 4 years old, that belt?
Probably like two-ish.
Two-ish, okay. So that would be the only way I say he retires with the belt is if they plan on introducing a brand new belt.
I'm just figuring because like this is like he appeared on SmackDown and he's appearing here. So that's what 25 appearances left because he was at 27 and these two are 24, 25 appearances, give or take, whatever one it is. So I'm just kind of like with all those appearances, like how many of those are actually going to be matches? 4, 5, maybe 6. How many more pay-per-views do we have from now to the end of the year? Plus, I know Saturday's night main event, nothing really has been happening on, but it's not out of the realm for him to wrestle on a Saturday night main event, even if he's going to keep the title. It's still an appearance. They can still use it for storyline. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
not sure like what they really are going to do. And he's going to have to be on TV and make appearances on Raw or SmackDown, depending on who he's going against. So there's got to be, some of that going on too. I,
Wow, there's a lot of people singing Randy Orton's music.
Well,
That's
yeah.
remember
unusual.
they're in his hometown.
Hmm. Name Missouri.
So Pat,
Yes.
I don't have an issue with AEW doing a tribute to Mongo. They seem to like to do that for stuff like Owen Hart, others, so on and so on. I'm just I'm just not sure. I just have a weird feeling about it. It is like AEW is the one doing it. I know WCW is no longer here. WWE did their kind of thing, but it's just I don't know. It's weird to see it on AEW. It's nice
AEW
of
is
them
doing it
to
just to
do
get
it.
people to try and tune into their show. It's
Ric Flair is going to be on. I'm worried about what he's going to say for some reason.
I'd be more worried about how much he's had to drink before he shows up.
Hence what he's going to say. Yes. I
woo.
just I don't know. It just feels weird. We'll see how it is, but it just kind of feels weird to me. I'm just thank you for doing it, but I'm not sure if how
Like I
it's
said,
going to be
like I said, I
presented
think
and
AEW
accepted.
does it. I'm sure the wrestlers have something to do with wanting to pay tribute, but I really feel like AEW does it just to boost ratings. It's not really because they care about the life and career of Mungo.
I think deep down in his heart, Tony Khan thinks it's like a nice gesture, a nice thing to do, and everything. And on many levels it is. But at the same time, it's also like Tony basically saying, "See, look, I respect the wrestlers and I care about the wrestlers, and please be nice to me."
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I just, yeah, just such a weird-ish feeling about it, I guess. That's all. I mean, we'll see how it goes.
Like, and
Hopefully
why did
they do a good job.
why do the Owen Hart tribute? Like after that many years, like Owen Hart has been dead for how long?
Because he was able to convince Owen's widow to participate. That's why. And
Yep,
because again, he thought it would bring him a lot of goodwill. Trust me, nobody who's that rich does something without expecting at least good PR in return.
of course.
It's just one of those things for me. Like
And his wife has boosted the company in a positive light as well. So
I can understand them wanting to pay tribute to wrestlers, but once again, I still think it's just a big PR stunt. Like here, let us get some more ratings and let's look good in the light of wrestling fans. So AEW fanatics can be like, see, look it. He pays respect to the old time wrestlers when the kids in the company, and I'm gonna say cut kids because there's a lot of kids in that company, don't respect the guys that have been in wrestling forever and can teach them a little something about wrestling because they already know it all. And we know that happens because it's been publicized that that kind of stuff happens.
yeah, it happens. It happens in multiple places. I actually love how he's still doing the whole
Avenue.
wearing the belt backwards, a white John Cena, and that's it. Keeping it bland. I would rather he comes out, his music plays, and then he just does the cut the music and walks to the ring with no music.
They probably have a mandate against such a thing. No, I'm serious. They
Nice.
probably think, no, John, music's got to be playing.
He's holding the towel back. Oh, it's on the back here. now he's,
The
now he's
last
putting it
time is
back there.
now.
Hey, Peacemaker season 2, August.
Yes,
So that
yes.
means that he's already done shooting that.
Yeah.
Oh, he
It's in
has.
post
He's
production.
yeah.
But
He.
what I thought was great about it though too was that they showed some of the people who were going to make cameos in the show.
Oh, I didn't. I didn't. I tried to stay away from any type of rumors or spoilers for that.
Well, again, it's like in the trailer that they released the other day. It's like literally the first scene in the trailer.
I didn't watch the trailer.
All right, well, I won't say them.
Oh, I gotta watch a trailer.
You can,
I won't be able to watch it
you can
because
choose yourself.
I can't use my daughter's Max account anymore. It doesn't
I'll
stay
have
logged in.
I'll
Every
have to
five
react.
seconds.
I'll have to reactivate my Max account because I don't have it right now since it was tied to my YouTube TV, which I canceled. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
It she still has it, but I got tired of asking her to go and log in, and I didn't feel right asking her for her login. Even though she's asked me for my login for different things before.
Then
yeah,
it's solely right for you to ask for
I
hers.
would
God
say
damn it!
just have her give it to you, and
Just create a profile, dad, and just go into the
I already
dad
did.
profile, and you're
I already
good.
have a dad profile.
You just need her login then.
It always logs out because she never logs in. She's the one that's got it and she never goes in and watches anything on it.
Oh shit! Just ask her for the damn username and password at that point. She doesn't use it. Fuck.
yeah. So like one of the things that I'm missing by not having live TV is like I can't watch TCM, and I can't watch TCM app either.
What
But
is TCM?
Turner Classic.
Movie. Yeah, Turner
I'll
Classic
Turner
Movies.
Classic of all the things. Oh my God, Grandpa, relax. You'll get your Turner Classic music movies later.
Shut the fuck up. It's one of the only things I give a shit about. But because my parents have direct TV, you can,
I'm missing my westerns.
anyway, long story short, I just made my dad give me his direct TV login credentials so I could log into the app that way.
Hey, that works. It's a
I'm
bonus.
sorry, I gotta mess with you because when you said it was Turner Classic Music, I'm like, what? So the one thing I'll say,
That
like
likes the classics, damn it.
we were down a, it's. I was telling my wife this. I love my mother-in-law. She's a really good person. She scared me when I first, when I first started dating my wife. She scared the shit out of me. I don't know why I was always scared of this lady that's barely 5 foot, but she was a very intimidating person. I don't know why, but anyways, I digress. We went down to visit after the cheer competition was over. We went to visit my mother-in-law, and she lives in Jill's grandparents' old house. Like she bought the house after they passed away. She
Okay.
bought the house. Um, and it's just weird. Like we drive down there, we drive into the villages because that's where she lives. She lives in the villages. Drive into that community, we make that drive, and we turn the corner, Oxbow Lane. That's where they live off of Oxbow Lane, and we make that turn, and it's even though her mom lives there now, it's still that memory of driving down there those first like couple years that we were together, and we went down to visit him. Turning Oxbow Lane, it's like, all right, we're at Graham and Pap's house. Here we go, and it's different not to pull up to that house and it looked exactly the same. Like she didn't really change much of that house
Oh, really?
since she purchased it. She did some stuff to the interior, but the exterior looks exactly pretty much the same. And you pull up
Gotcha.
to that house, and he painted, not he painted, but he had painted on his driveway the M&M Racing logo
Oh,
because
do you really?
yeah, he worked for M&M Mars, so he had the M&Ms painted like that are on the M&M's racing car
That's
on
pretty
his
dope.
driveway,
I
and it's
like
still
that.
there. It's faded, but it's still there. And it's like I said, it's as much as I love her mom, it's just so different knowing that we're pulling up to that house and Graham and Pap aren't there. And they passed away 5 years ago now. But it's just one of those things like that was the Graham and Pap house. Like we just
Yeah.
pulled up there and everybody like they'd always come out. They were always like super happy to see everybody. And the first time I think it was the second time we went down there to visit them. They used to be the 19th hole. So after ever, they would always have this big golfing thing with a bunch of the people in the villages.
Okay.
Everybody go golfing, and then their house was the 19th hole. And if you've ever done the 19th hole at a golf course, that's the par. That's the par hole. So their house was the 19th hole, and the people that were there were just always super inviting, and they always set up two like big white long tables, and they play Screw Your Neighbor. If you ever played Screw Your Neighbor, that's the one game with the quarter, and you got
I've
you're the
never
last
played
one
it, but
standing
I've
with the
heard
quarter.
about it.
Yeah, it's it's a fun game. It goes pretty quick, but it was just one of those things. And like they were like, "Yeah, you guys sit down, sit down, sit down," like telling us to sit down and enjoy the time. It's like this is like a really cool just thing, and those are like some of the memories that I have. And of course, her grandfather Pap, we always called him. We took Lucas down there when he was how old was Lucas? He was trying to think. We took Abby to Walt Disney World that year, so she was 6. So Lucas was maybe about 6, 7 months old,
Okay.
somewhere in there. And her grandfather swore up and down. He's like, "You would have gave me 2 more weeks. I'd have had him walking. He'd have been walking all over the place because he was just starting to learn to walk. He was a funny guy."
It's crazy, like what comes back to your memories when you drive down a specific road going somewhere. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah. And he served in Korea. He was on the USS Missouri, the ship that they signed the treaty, I think it was, that was signed for the Korean War. Like
Okay.
he was on that ship and that like just some of the stuff that he and I'll say this to anybody who's watching. If you have an opportunity to sit down with your elders, grandmother, grandfather, really old uncle or aunt, sit down with them, talk to them about what their life was like. It's it might seem boring, but it is so awesome to be able to reflect on those things and hear things from people that experienced those times. Like her grandparents grew up in the 1920s, I want to say, somewhere around there, and it you know it might have been 1930s because they would have been 87, 87 or 88 this year. So what is that? I was What would that put him like 1930s somewhere in there, something like that.
Mm,
25
let's see.
minus 88. I don't know. I don't have my calculator. I can't do those big numbers in my head.
1938.
Okay. So yeah, so they grew up in that time, just outside the Great Depression, you know, all of like it's just like I said, it's just a really cool thing to really get to
Especially the
talk to
ones that have
people.
been in the war, been in the
Yeah.
military in the war, like, them traveling talking about boot camp and then going overseas and visiting, being in those other countries before they went to the country they were actually having to fight in, and just hearing and talking about that type of stuff. It's interesting. It definitely is.
John Cena's walking away. I don't need any of this. I'm done. I don't have to prove anything to you. I just need Rogaine with minoxidil so I can bring back my bald spot.
Oh, he has hair plugs.
Did he get hair plugs?
Yeah. He talked about that in Pac Macrochi shows out like after Mania or whatever it was.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh wow, he's been
He
open about it. That's impressive.
yeah, he had it done. So like at that time when it was like really bad,
Uh
it
huh.
was they had just done it. So now it's going to take several months for it to like really grow in,
Mm-hmm.
which it's definitely looking better than it was for sure.
Yeah.
What does that say? WW are awful.
No,
WE
we
are
are.
awful. We are
Yeah.
awful. Bring Zinc back. I don't understand though. Rambo go crazy. Okay.
Who's
We are
Rambo?
awful
Randy Orton.
people. He's wearing John Cena apparel.
We
Okay.
are awful people. That's what it says. We are awful
Well, yeah,
people.
because that's something that Cena's been saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's rocking the apparel.
I'm awful.
Yeah, we know. That's besides the point.
And I'm happy to be that way.
So tomorrow's going to be a fun-filled day. We have
Right.
my great niece. That just seems weird to say. My great nieces.
I was gonna say you have a great niece already.
Yeah,
You're old.
I'm a great uncle. I already knew that, but now it's official.
Well, you may be a great uncle, but I'm the greatest uncle. So,
Oh,
um,
and there are four people I'm pretty sure who will agree with me. So that
okay. Of course.
but
Bribery at
yeah,
its finest. I know how you work.
but it's her first birthday, little Addie.
Addie. Okay.
Yep. Adeline.
Adderall.
No, Adeline is her first name.
Well, see, that's why I asked.
Yes, but
I
we call her
Adderall.
Addie.
I wanted to make sure I understood exactly what her name was, since Addie is not a name; it's a nickname.
Yes, it is her nickname, Addie.
One can make it
But
a name.
she's walking and jabbering up a storm already at 1 o'clock. At 1 year old, yeah, at 1 o'clock, she's jabbering up a storm. Um,
Gosh, she's jabbing up.
1 o'clock at
One
1 years
o'clock.
old. She
It better
was
be one
rocking and
o'clock p.m.
rolling.
and not 1 o'clock a.m. I'll tell you that.
no, 1 o'clock a.m. She's probably just a tyrant
I would hope she's dead to
of
the
terror.
world at 1 a.m.
Well,
Actually sleeping like they're supposed to be.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
we
This
had no,
match has been very slow paced.
yeah.
I mean, I knew it was going to be.
Yeah, same here. I know.
I'm telling you right now, my family has not been able to catch up on sleep since we had that 1 a.m. arrival time from Florida.
Hmm. Dude,
My
that's just
son,
crazy. I've never had a delay in that manner.
I've had three.
I've been on some flights that landed late, but I don't think that late. Yeah.
I've been on
Oh, I can't say
three.
that. My arrival back, my flight home from WrestleMania last year was not fun. That one, it was a 2 hour, delayed an hour, get on the plane and sit there for 2 hours with no air conditioning working. Instead of having us get off the plane, we sat there and sweated our asses off because one of the engines wouldn't start. Hence why we have no air in the airplane.
I've been delayed 3 times that I can think of, possibly more. But once when I was
But I had no kids, just
once
me.
when I was going back home from college, I got delayed in Detroit because there's no direct flights from South Bend to Allentown or vice versa. So the times I flew, I either had to stop over in either Detroit or Pittsburgh, and I got delayed in Detroit once. It was I can't remember if it was Christmas or if it was spring or fall break. But I remember it was like I think they like had the flight was overbooked and then it got delayed and they were doing the whole like, we'll put you up in a hotel, and I thought about it for like maybe 5 seconds and said, no, I just want to go the hell home.
Okay, this is one of the dumbest spots ever. Back and forth sleeper holds. Come on.
Yeah. And
Um,
I got delayed back in 2007 coming home from Florida, ironically in the same airport where Jeremy just got delayed, in Sanford Airport, which is, not Orlando Airport. It's the much less busy one in the greater Orlando area. And the last time I flew to Florida back in 2017, we got delayed flying from Philly to Orlando.
Yeah, I've not been delayed a ton, but the three times I was delayed was coming out of Sanford flying back to PA. And it was all in the same airline, Allegiant.
The funny
Of
thing
course.
was, none of my delays, to the best of my knowledge, were weather related like yours were. It was all like plane issues.
Yes. So ours were all plane. So the first two were plane issues. So one plane, um, I forget what the issue with the first plane is. The second time it was the plane was delayed. Actually, the plane that they were supposed to give us had a malfunction, so they weren't able to get it fixed while it was there. So they had to wait for the next flight to come in to put us on that plane.
Oh God.
And this time it was weather related. This is the first time I've ever been delayed by weather. But it's one of those things like you have no control over the weather. I don't blame Allegiant Airlines for that because that's not their fault. Did it still suck out the ass?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it did.
You can say that you don't blame Allegiant Airline for weather related issues, but I say nay nay
Well,
because
here's what I will say about that.
well, all I was going to say is you really don't know who Allegiant Air is aligned with. They could be aligned with an organization known as Cobra, which, as we all know, specializes in weather domination.
Yes, they shoot the lasers into the sky to make the weather change.
Um,
Yeah.
so I will say this: the plane that we were getting on sat on the tarmac. We got there, and the plane was sitting there. It was not docked; it was just sitting there, like off of the the tunnels, like the whatever you call them, the things that attach to planes. They were
Oh,
sitting
okay.
there.
Yeah.
It was not ready. It was not pulled up. It only had to pull up. It was waiting, and then all of a sudden it pulled up. It We were supposed to start boarding the plane at 5:52. We did not start boarding the plane until 6:05. Now it doesn't seem like a long time, but by the time we started boarding the plane till the time that the first lightning strike happened, would have been enough time for all of us to get on the plane and probably have them fueled up so we could have got out of there. Like that 15 minutes, it doesn't seem like a lot of time, but that 15 minutes would have been enough time for them to do all the stuff that they needed to and for us to probably be able to take off. Because they'll
Yeah,
let them take, I
yeah,
don't know if they'll let
they
them
got the
take
new
off in
alternator
lightning.
on
That
there.
I don't know, but
No, they won't.
normally not. So we might have
No,
still
they
been
won't.
delayed. But
You would have been late. You would not have been able to take off in lightning. Plus, it depends on where the weather was, and if you would have taken off before the lightning hit where the airport was, it could have been like a mile away or so and striking, and they're not going to let you fly into that and have something happen.
yeah, now they
I,
told
I
us,
remember one time being on a flight, it must have been when I was still a kid, where I was concerned about like there was bad weather, but we didn't get delayed to the best of my knowledge, and I was being all like, "Oh my God, it's a storm or whatever," and like my mother had to explain to me, the plane goes above the clouds where it's storming.
Yeah, if
yeah,
there's a bad rainstorm, they can still take off
oh
and
yeah.
get above the clouds, and you'll be good
So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's the
that was
landings
the
I'm more
second to
concerned
worst
with, I think.
flight that I've ever been on as far as
for
turbulence.
the
That
most part.
that flight on Thursday night into Friday morning, that was one of the second worst turbulent flight I've ever been on. Like it was really bad going
But
out of Orlando. There was some turbulence in the middle, and then there was bad turbulence coming into Allentown again.
yeah, one of my Florida flights, I don't remember which year, um, was kind of rough the whole way. It was definitely like the roughest flight I'd ever been on. It wasn't bad, but it was kind of constant. It was like the whole flight was kind of bumpy. So
It
it's
was
like, look, all I want to do is close my eyes, maybe just pass out for an hour and a half of this 2.5 hour flight. I can't even do that though. If I'm feeling,
yeah, it was one of those things like we're bouncing like, and the turbulence wasn't up and down; it was like side to side too. So it was like making the plane shake side to side. and all I
He's
hear is the plane going.
starting to shimmy.
All I hear is the plane going as the seats are like shimming back and like shaking back and forth with, and that I'm like, oh God, please just stay together, plane. Don't fall apart while we're in the goddamn
Yeah,
sky.
so it's like, and as that's starting to happen, you're thinking about those lines from Alanis Morissette's "Ironic" about, like, he waited his whole damn life to take this flight, and as the plane crashed down, he thought, "Well, isn't this nice?
Oh
Isn't it
God.
ironic?"
Yeah, and Jill, when we got off the flight, she's like, I really thought we were gonna die.
I'm glad you kept that to yourself after we
Yeah.
landed.
Well, she can't say that on the flight and alarm the children. You got to
But she
keep the
still said
children safe.
she will still say though that even though as bad as that flight was, and it wasn't terrible, it was still nothing compared to our flight from Miami to Jamaica. That was the worst flight that I was ever on as far as turbulence. Like that plane shook from time of takeoff to the time we got and landed in Jamaica. Like it just shook the whole entire time. And then I got sick on this descent to land at the airport in Jamaica. Then I got sick all over the in-flight barf bag.
Well, yeah, that's tough to handle. Yeah,
And
I
then of course,
understand that.
and then of course, and I've never gotten sick on a flight before. I thought I might get sick on this flight when we were getting close to land. I'm like, man, my stomach is just not feeling right. I'm like, I hope I'm not gonna get sick. But I got the barf bag out just in case. I'm like, my kids are like, what's that? I was like, this in case Daddy gets sick. They're like, you're gonna be sick. I said, I don't know. Daddy's stomach doesn't feel good. I might. I'm being prepared.
When I fly, I have to take Dramamine before I fly.
Yeah, I would have answered that question of like, I might get sick, and if I do, I can guarantee you'll get sick too.
I will say this
Because
though.
it's gonna get all over you.
I'm very glad we did not take off when we did initially. Of all the things I normally wouldn't say that because like the flight was so delayed, but the guy that came in and sat right behind me with his wife and kid, that dude was drunk. Like drunk,
You can
like
smell it.
slurring his
You
words,
can smell
giggly
it on.
goofy, and like as he's trying to walk down the aisle, he's like stumbling. I looked at my wife and she was sitting across the aisle because we had A, B, C, and then D, of course. D's on the other side of the aisle. I looked at her and I was like, this motherfucker better not get sick and throw up on me.
You know what's crazy? My friend Marcus, he loves to drink on flights so he can like calm his nerves and sleep. I can't do it. Like I cannot drink. If I drink on a flight, the puke bag's coming out because no, I'm sorry. Flying and drinking is not something I can do.
Yeah.
Oh, bump, a
That was
ref
a
bump. Oh
Oh,
God.
terrible
what a
ref
ref bump.
Yeah, it was
That was
bad.
a terrible ref
Yeah,
bump because you could tell he was just sitting there waiting for it, and then he practically ran into it too. This has been a very
Yeah.
boring match.
Yeah,
yes.
I have to take Dramamine when I fly just because like of the motion. Like it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I get nauseated and hot flashes and whatnot. I've never thrown
Hot
up on a plane.
flashes.
Oh yeah, my body. Oh, I just become flush. Like, yeah. I've never
Yeah.
thrown up on a plane, but I get to that point. I'm like, whoa, I need some
I
cold
take
drink
Dramamine
like now.
when I go to the amusement parks. I take Dramamine for the amusement park rides.
That I don't have to do as of yet.
I didn't used to. It
Yes.
started happening. It started happening as I got older. Like I used to laugh at my dad, like, "Dad, come on," and now I'm like, "Man, I'm gonna need that, dude."
It's real. You know what? It sucks for me because of my herniated discs in my neck. Like I have to watch what roller coasters I go on now because of the jerking around and stuff. Yeah. It sucks, but it is what it is. It's like there's certain rides, like there's one ride at Dorney Park, if it's still there. It's the circle, and everyone sits in there, and the thing swings back and forth as the
Oh
thing
yeah, he has a big
turns.
pendulum swinger. Yep.
I used to love that ride. Nope, can't do it anymore. I'm woo all over the place, getting like some vertigo, not knowing where I'm at. Yeah,
He's Ric Flair. He's woo.
I'm wooing around. I've got that woo energy in me in the wrong way. Put it
And then
that
the
way.
Egyptian showed up.
The Egyptian showed up. What?
It's a reference to the video that went viral several months ago, Flair having a meltdown at that pizza place.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Because like the captioning for the thing said, and then the Egypt, like something like the caption thought he said something about the Egyptian when he was calling a guy a dipshit.
Oh yeah. Because I didn't understand. That's right.
And Cornette and Last on their podcast have made it like a recurring thing about like when, especially if they're talking about Flair in some respect, they'll be like, one of them would just suddenly go, and then the Egyptian showed up.
Oh my God, another ref bump. Are you
Oh,
kidding
this
me?
time
Dude, you're too far ahead.
Oh my God, he hit his poor little head on the steps.
Oh, I'm
Oh
sorry,
my
Jerry.
God, what are they going to do for that, son boy?
Me and Pat were queued up, and you're just ahead of us. You're ruining it for me, man. You're ruining it.
Bang bang.
Yeah, it's. It's so funny how Wade Barrett has to act afraid that they're gonna come through the table now, like he wasn't a wrestler at one point in time.
Yeah, he's so scared of the wrestlers these days.
Let me tell you, Michael Cole.
I got some bad news for you. That was one of the greatest. When he couldn't wrestle, he was injured, and he came out and Barrett's bad news.
I liked it. I thought it was fun.
I know, it was awesome.
Could we please have some decorum here? The table didn't break.
Oh God! Cena's back is dislocated.
The little lights are not twinkling, Clark.
Oh, Cena knocked down the table. He's like, "Oh, I'm not doing that shit again."
No, they're going to keep doing it until they get it right. Like when Kurt Angle was, supposed to throw Shane McMahon through the glass.
Or it's like trying to move the one edge. He's like, this is too heavy. I'm not trying. I'm too tired. He's like,
all them twinkling lights make it heavy.
I may only be wearing
those tables they've really gone fancy with the tables as of the last couple years.
I may only be wearing a pair of briefs in here, but it's still really fucking hot,
I'm sweating my balls off,
I'm
guys.
too hot and sweaty to try to actually.
I'm just glad that none of my kids noticed that these guys shave their body hair yet.
What?
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 How have they not noticed that?
I don't think they pay attention that closely. Especially, and it's surprising because even though I'm not the hairiest guy, I'm a pretty hairy guy. Like I have a decent amount of chest hair and unfortunately a decent amount of back hair, which I'm not proud of. But it is what it is. I can't do anything about it.
I'm in the same boat as you on that one. So,
Where the hell were we? Oh my God, my daughter's such an ass sometimes. We were down at the pool, and the wind was blowing, and she was saying something, and she's like, "Yeah, and your back hair's flowing nicely in the wind." I'm like, "You're an ass."
Such a smart ass. Oh,
I now hate you.
I think that's
because of course they're like, "Yeah, your hair's not moving, but your back hair's flowing." I'm like, because of.
You know what I say? It was like, do you know how fast I can disown you, right?
I don't know.
Disown you pretty quickly there, sweetheart.
I think that type of comment, your back hair is, billowing in the wind. I think that's the kind of comment where you go, you're grounded for 3 weeks.
All I could do was laugh because it was actually really funny, and it was well placed. Like for her, like she's at that age at 14 where she's still trying to find the right time to place a funny joke and not be a smart ass, like intentionally, like she's trying to make a joke. So, my son's starting to get that in him too.
You know what the most important thing in comedy is?
Oh, my son's sarcastic as fuck. Any chance he gets, he takes the jab.
Timing.
Yeah. My son's issue is though, like he hasn't like truly learned when to stop.
Yes.
That's
it.
That's his thing. Like he goes, like he tries to like keep it going, and then sometimes he keeps it going too long, and then like the wife looks at him as like, you need to stop because now you're pissing off your father. Like my look and mood changes like instantly when he starts doing that. I'm like, you need to shut up now. It was funny 4 comments ago. No, you've gone too far.
You've pushed it to the max, and you've now hit the limit.
Shut your goddamn pie hole. Well, this match has been an old man match as far as wrestling's concerned. It's picked up in the last 5 to 6 minutes, but still,
This is your traditional. I feel like we're back in the 1980s,
Yes.
watching two big guys wrestle.
Listen, and I think this plays into John Cena's "I'm ruining wrestling." Like, I think all of his matches, for the most part, are going to be.
Here comes the next ref bump.
Yep, third one of the match.
Hey, I saw that coming from a mile away.
That these matches he has are going to be like old school, slow paced matches on purpose.
I saw that coming a mile away.
He's down for the 10 count.
Nick Aldis, what are you doing? Get the ref up. Just get another fucking ref out here. Why do we have 7 fucking guys coming down to the ring?
Executives. Oh, there's what's his name?
What are we doing here, people?
I saw that coming a mile away. Very nice, Blinken. Well done. Pardon? Who's talking?
This is the only time I've never seen them get another referee out here, and instead they send every executive out to the ring to wake up the ref.
Yeah, this is
This is stupid.
This is awesome. Oh, that's awesome. Nick Aldis getting
remember
fucking.
when WWE
Oh,
remember
here
when
come the
WWE
See, Nick Aldis.
RKOs.
remember when WWE seemed to be firing on all cylinders? You know, that wasn't that long ago. But
Jamie Noble, see ya.
to paraphrase a well-known philosopher, this ain't it, dog.
I couldn't remember his name for a second, and then I remembered it's Jamie Noble. Good old Jamie Noble.
Yep, Jamie Noble's one of the guys that got an RKO for his trouble.
He was the last one.
I
He
think
said,
I think Shane Helms was one of them too.
It's an RKO party. RKO for you, RKO for you, RKO for you.
You
Let's
get
it
an
done.
RKO, and you get an RKO, and you get an RKO.
And I still lose the match.
"Oh, nice. Let's see him punt." It's a punt.
Puta.
What the fuck is this?
What the hell is going on? R-Truth, you got to stop braiding your hair, dude. Your hairline is back to the middle of your head.
Stupid. And Cena with the low blow where he came nowhere near Orton's dick.
He hit him in his thigh. Maybe his wiener is on his thigh.
Maybe he should have did the Heyman wiggle.
I was gonna say he didn't do the Heyman grind, but you know.
Where's the ref? Where's the ref? Get in there, ref. Get in there.
Now the ref will come up. Of course, the slow maneuver.
Uno, dos,
Tres.
tres.
Trois.
It's over. John
Menage
Cena
a
retains
trois.
his title as the true champion of the WWE. Wow, look at that. Pay-per-view or, premium live event that ends before 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I mean, yes, even with starting.
And
at
I will
7.
say, for the most part, except for the four-way match that started off the night, this pay-per-view was uneventful.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's. I mean, I don't know about anybody else per se, but I didn't expect anything earth-shattering. I guess for me, still the most surprising thing about this, other than I guess Jeff Cobb's debut, was Lyra retaining against Becky because, like I had said, I really felt like Becky was going to win. So,
What was the best match? The four-way then?
Yes, definitely. So the instead of calling this backlash, we can call this a bag crash. That's more like what was a bag crash.
This was a bad crash of epic proportions.
Try and get as much sleep as we can.
I mean,
Like it was just bad writing for this match at that one point where all these executives like it at no point in time have we ever seen oh there's Davari. I forgot he was an executive now too.
Shane Helms, go down.
Oh yeah, there's Shane Helms.
Yeah, who the hell was the guy with the yellow tie? He really took that in an interesting way.
Jimmy Noble, go down. R-Truth, what are we doing?
I still don't know what is the purpose of R-Truth coming down. And like I said, he really needs to stop braiding his hair or what or dreaded.
Yeah, his
hairline's in the middle
hairline.
of his freaking skull. It's all the way up
Yeah.
here.
His hairline, yeah, his hairline's pretty far back.
He's funny though. Like he's on Twitter. Not Twitter. He's on TikTok and he goes live on TikTok and he just says the goofiest and does some of the goofiest shit. I'm like,
I've heard.
this
I've
is like
seen
having
some
your
clips.
grandfather on TikTok. It just shouldn't be.
Oh, John Cena's getting the mic. Okay.
That should be interesting. This is
Cut
where
my
the
damn
other
music.
15 minutes comes from.
Cut my jam music.
Don't you see how big my nose is?
I don't need music. Okay, we're setting up whoever he's wrestling next. Oh, I guess not. Did you notice there's one plate on there says LRC?
Nope. Did not notice that.
Yeah. And it has a date of 2025 above it.
I mean, I noticed the plate that said like 17-time champ or whatever it is, you know.
Oh, maybe we'll get it now that they've gone to the other.
You're going off the premium live event air. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see what we get. You're still in the ring. You're pandering to the crowd.
I like how he wipes his nose and does this. He's just like flicks his boogers at him or something.
Holds the belt up with his back to the main hot camera. Yeah, lift your leg up with your black Skechers. What are you still in the ring for, bro? Like, what are we doing? I'm just waiting for somebody's music to hit.
Yeah. He's still got some of the craziest veinage in his arms. It's a little crazy looking.
Yeah, he does. Well, those veins that you see there, I think that's a specific issue that happens to guys when they get older. It's just, I forget the terminology for it. Because his vein really should look like his left arm, not that.
Yeah.
But okay, who you you're staring at Cole and Barrett? Like, what are we doing here?
I am so confused.
What are we doing, people?
All right, put the belt on backwards because that's your thing now.
We're getting a thank you Cena chance. And what are we doing?
Is he going to start to cry? Because that's what it looks like right now. Cena's going to cry. Are you going to cry, Cena? Cry for me, Cena.
This is so odd.
Yep. Is he gonna turn good in the middle of this whole tour now?
No, he shouldn't. It fucking ruins everything. Beautiful Bobby for Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I mean,
We're talking about Bobby Eaton.
I wish they would just do a group induction of the three main members, the Midnight Express and Cornette, but God only knows if they ever will. Because Cornette doesn't like going anywhere anymore, and Bobby and of course has passed away, and Dennis Condrey and Stan Lane I don't think are in like the best of health.
So Cornette's pretty much a hermit, huh?
No, he just let me look. He was on the road for so much of his life and everything, and then after his last like full time wrestling role, he did like a bunch of fan fest conventions and everything, but he got to the point where he's making enough money off the podcast and everything that he's like, fuck it, I don't want to leave home. I don't blame him. He has he has a fear of flying, so he would have to drive everywhere, and
Yes, that is true. That is true.
that's my dream girl.
Redmond's. She's a very beautiful woman.
Jackie guys alongside
the most recent one. I've had plenty. All right, I gotta get going, guys, because my eyes are telling me they need the contacts removed, so I gotta go take care of that. So
you go do that.
Yes, I very much have to. So
Pat's getting off.
I would say this was fun, but the show kind of sucked. I mean, notice how we spent more time
montage media on YouTube.
I mean, notice how we spent more time talking about not the show than the show.
Correct.
So,
that is,
but I kind of expected that, to be honest. So
tall tale in regards to that one there. Yeah, yeah. Definitely so. All right then.
All right,
Jeremy, let's take us home, brother.
Yeah.
All right. Well, to all our fans, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed the show because it was fun for us, even though the show that we were watching was not necessarily the best. Hopefully, the show that we put on for you was fun and entertaining for you. As Pat goes and I don't know what the hell he's doing.
I'm blind.
And so is our audience.